Is it still, this independence that we're dealing with, or do we have an inside problem? Because in Enugu here, if the present governor, Peter Mba, so graciously, makes these electronic facilities available in the state, and after 8 years, he finishes his administration and he goes, who is to say that it will be sustained in the future?
The answer is straight.
Okay.
As a public relations practitioner, I want to tell you that our major problem is attitudinal.
Good morning and welcome to High Voltage. Today is Friday, the 4th day of October 2024. I hope that you are glad that the week is over. Welcome to another edition of this program. Today we are going to talk about the solutions to all the problems that we have tried to put a point on during this celebration of Independence Day on the 1st of October. Every year, Nigeria gets to do an anniversary of her independence from colonial rule and colonial administration. And it's been 64 years of letting us do things our way, of letting us run it ourselves. And from the assessment that we have made this week, it doesn't seem like we have done so good. And I'm not by myself to look at what we can do to remedy our dear country. We are steady doing that, but today we will have to give it a special attention. Comrade Chinedu Mobodo is here with me. He is a public affairs analyst. He is also, among so many things that he is also Igwe of his community. He will tell you a little bit about that sometime. But today he is going to help me, or help us all. Let's look at how we can make it all better again eventually. Welcome, comrade.
Yeah, my sister, good morning, listeners.
Comrade, let's get your assessment of the situation. How do you think we have fared, Nigeria at 64?
Yeah, for Nigeria to still be subsisting,
Okay.
is a good score. Otherwise, Nigeria has faced a number of challenges that ordinarily would have broken Nigeria up. It's obvious before everybody. But for the resilient nature of that country, or that country or state that is brought together to continue to be on, is an achievement probably not made by any human being within, but the position of the Almighty God. That is what is keeping us together. In the last 64 years, we have had our ups and downs. At different times, one ethnic group or the other would begin to insist we want to leave. Eventually, at the end of everything, we are still together. We have seen even before now, the Yoruba nation saying we have to go, the Hausa nations, the Fulani nation, House of Fulani nation saying we have to go, and then the Southeast. In fact, the Southeastern one, the Biafra in quotes, became more obvious. Until recently, of course, when we have begun to see people like Gani Adams, we began to see people like who is this young Iboho? Now the issue of the Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, the issue of Boko Haram, insurgents, and all these things, those ones, I don't know, because they have not placed any specific demand. Of course, Nigeria, for me, I'm beginning to think of how we still stay together if we haven't broken up till now, in spite of all these things we've gone through.
Yes.
So that is one achievement, which may not have been because of us, but because of God. Then on the issue of whether we have fared well, it's so unfortunate that I am believing we are not really independent on our own. We are still dependent on foreign or the Western nation on a number of issues. By now, we should have had something to be known for. We have all it takes to make our foreign exchange or balance of payment be strong in our favor. But it's not true. It's not forthcoming yet. After 64 years, any man, any woman of 64 years is already on the western side and going. And should be more mature. By now, our iron and steel industry, the Ajokuta Iron Steel Company, should have been functioning better than it is. By now, 64 years down the line, our cocoa house shouldn't have just disappeared. Our granite pyramid shouldn't have just disappeared. The coal city, the eastern region, our agriculture, our good cassava species, our palm oil shouldn't have just disappeared. We should have been stronger down the line. We should have been building upon what our forefathers built on. But of course, my own sister Mavis allowed me to even use this opportunity to dispassionately thank the governor of Enugu State and a number of media programs I have had in the past. I so much spoke about the dying presidential hotel, which should have been the pride of the Eastern people. He is reviving it. I am also seeing, and I believe some other persons are seeing, the way our roads are being resurfaced. I am also aware and believing that a number of other persons are seeing the coming alive of the International Conference Center.
Oh, yes.
Which should be particularly a money-yielding project that has been abandoned over 2 administrations in the past. He is trying to make it come alive. So, and he's venturing into agriculture. That is, if we had done it like this, incrementally, over the 64 years, something different would have happened. You know, a number of persons may even have their reasons for not thanking him, but of course, we are human. There could be some shortcomings, but I am believing that by the time he spends 4 years, all the shortcomings would have been made up. But I am sincerely thanking him for what I am seeing. If we have had it like this over the years, not abandoning projects, improving our health system, improving our agriculture, by now we should have been close if we are not food secure.
And I remember that you had ambitions to be governor in Enugu, and to think that you appreciate what Peter Mba is doing now, coming from you, it gives me a perspective that I haven't considered.
No, eventually, I've never wanted to be a governor in Enugu State. I only wanted to be a member of House of Assembly of Enugu
There was
State.
House of Assembly.
I contested the election under Apga, truly. And my vision was, I was believing that a man could start the process of change, and that change could come. It takes one man, one courageous man, to start it. So my intention then was at least to go and do my best to see whether we're going to have a stronger and better Enugu State House of Assembly. But of course, I am also beginning to see and believe that it was the collaborative effort of both of the 3 arms of government that is making this thing possible. What we are seeing now. Yes. Over the years and in many radio programs, I have always told people that security is not about carrying guns along the road.
Okay.
Security starts from surveillance, and surveillance is key. And I had always said that our surveillance could be electronic. Okay. If you move around Enugu State, our surveillance is gradually becoming electronic. And once it becomes electronic, commission of crimes could be reduced because before you finish committing it, people would have come around.
But some people argue that considering the economic situation of the country, most people are hungry. And some people think, what is the use of infrastructure to a hungry people? And also, the administration has been also accused of overtaxing the people. So the infrastructure is amazing, but how about maybe something that would maybe affect the people directly?
Okay, if we come out, if we take it from that angle, like I said, he may not be getting it all correct at the same time. His intentions might be good, but the way he started it could be something else. If we take it, for example, the demolition or the disruption, let me use the word the disruption of activities within the Holy Ghost area, those demolition, people hold it against him. For me, if I was part of the people who talked to him and if I had spoken to him, it should have been one at a time. Demolish one, finish it, let us see it.
Okay.
And if we had seen it, eventually those of us, the thing have not touched their angle, could also be anxious, saying, come.
Really?
Yeah.
Because there are more places mapped out for demolition in the
So,
future.
but that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you want to change the face of a place, pick one, do it, show us what you want to do.
It sounds good.
People could be eager. But that does not mean that the intention isn't good. Then, but the elementary knowledge I have about economics, because that's not my course. I borrowed it all right, but then I won't claim to know anything about economics, even though I apply my own private economy. I know that regressive taxation, multiple taxation, is not economic progressive. You get what I'm saying? So I will also, if people complain about the taxation, which people are complaining, let the people who are concerned, especially the Board of Internal Revenue, sit down and advise him properly. That's my take about that one. Then on the issue of people saying what is infrastructure to a hungry man. Yes, what is infrastructure? I have read out a number of infrastructure. Food infrastructure is very important. Like now, if our other rice begins to work, every other rice farmer in Enugu State will have job. If our palm oil begins to work well, and which he is inching up to, every other person will, I am saying what he's doing now, if we had done it over the 64 years incrementally, if we didn't stop somewhere, if we were not overlooking projects started by other administrations, if we had continued to understand that government is a continuum, we no longer abandon projects, we no longer even dispense of the land where such projects could be. Of course, you are aware that Hotel Presidential was almost gone. They had started parcellating it.
Gone.
So if we revive Presidential Hotel now, there are people that hotel will begin to put or place food on their tables for working there, for supplying what will be used there, for now even offering their commercial services not as employed persons. So a number of persons will be fed. That is food infrastructure. Yes. People will work there.
Job. And
the people that will work there are the people coming from Enugu State. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you what we should have been doing. I'm happy that those things we are clamoring about. Before you know it now, he could also revive vegetable oil natch. That also is an agricultural infrastructure. And if he does that, then our palm oil farmers, palm producers, They'll begin to have food on their table. A number of persons will begin to work there. That will begin to spring up as another city. You begin to have other hotels by private individuals. All these things are going to be consequential employment opportunities around such infrastructure. That is the way I'm looking at it. So I want us to form the habit of saying congratulations where somebody has done it well. And where he hasn't done it well, instead of being an adverse critic, do it in such a way that you are putting up a suggestion that if this one is done this way, it could be better. There's a way you talk to somebody, he will understand that you are coming from a perspective of trying to be a partner in progress. There's a way you criticize somebody even when you are saying the truth. Understanding you becomes a problem. A man called Steve Brown wrote a book. The title of that book is How to Speak So That People Will Listen. It's very, very important that we understand that there is a way we speak, people will listen. If you don't speak in a way people will listen to you, no matter the message you have, that message will not sink. And the man went ahead to tell her that you may have your message, you may have your language error-free. But then if the tone is not in consonance with how the people will listen to you, you're talking to nobody. It's very important. So I'm not saying that that man is another God who can get it perfectly well. Multiple taxation, over-taxation, certainly is not economic, it doesn't have economic value. But moderate taxation, those who should pay tax are made to pay that tax. Because the unfortunate thing in Nigeria is that those who should pay tax are not paying tax. Those who should be exempted from paying tax are the people being taxed.
Taxes small businesses.
You get the thing. There are people who should be exempted from paying tax, and there are people who should pay tax. Let me tell you one thing. In 2018, I was discussing with somebody who were in Geneva for international level conference, and I was talking with some citizens of Geneva because I see a number of them doing more of bicycling. I lodged in Gex, France, and was coming from France to Geneva on daily basis for that meeting. I saw a number of persons using their bicycle. I see them using more of buses, including highly placed public persons. They use their buses. They were not keen for private cars like we do it in Nigeria. And the man was saying, no, nobody tells you, stops you from buying any kind of vehicle. But the moment you are buying, because everybody is electronically connected, every system is electronically connected. So the moment you are paying, the next alert you are getting is the type of tax you pay. So if you go for their hamburger, what kind of vehicle? I don't know. There are these high-class vehicles. Go for it, pay for it, but then you pay commensurate tax about it or for it. So that is it. We can come electronic, and like I said, security-wise, I understand. I was asking questions about certain things being mounted at strategic junctions in Enugu State, and they're telling us it's about security. If we go electronic, because there is no way any government, any state, even when we begin to have our state police, there is no way we might engage a number of physical persons to do the proper policing. You need to be helped electronically so that somebody could, from a situation room, monitor what is happening and detail people for intervention. if Israel, for example, I don't know whether you are looking at, you have been following this
We are following.
Ukraine-Russia war.
Yes.
Now, Israel, Hamas, Israel, Hezbollah, Israel, Iran. If you follow it, if they could stay in Israel and electronically monitor and then send their missiles to the point, electronic equipment, infrastructure. I don't know if anybody should be speaking about
But you've
that.
mentioned something earlier when you were saying all of this, comrade. You mentioned that we have a very poor maintenance culture. Our ability to manage even our own properties is a big problem, right? Now, I'd like to liken this to the colonial independence that most times we say we are not free from completely. But I'm wondering, are the colonial masters the ones who are making these infrastructures you talked about? I'm talking nationally now. Are they the reasons why our refineries are not working? Does the white man have anything to play with the price of petroleum that we are buying? Does he have any role to play in the minimum wage situation that we are having in Nigeria, where the presidency makes these promises, it never really gets to the people? We have seen this particular administration, make promises upon promises that Nigerians never get access to. Is it still, this independence that we're dealing with, or do we have an inside problem? Because in Enugu here, if the present governor, Peter Mba, so graciously, makes these electronic facilities available in the state, and after 8 years, he finishes his administration and he goes, who is to say that it will be sustained in the future? 2 questions.
My sister, is just, the answer is straight.
Okay.
As a public relations practitioner, I want to tell you that our major problem is attitudinal. It is attitudinal in the sense that we are beginning to run a system where everybody thinks of his private wealth against public wealth. And I stand to be corrected. Public wealth improves everybody. Private wealth impoverishes everybody. I stand to be corrected. And why am I saying it?
Please, can you say the phrase again?
I say that public wealth improves everybody. Private wealth impoverishes everybody. We are in a situation where, including the society who should stand up against corrupt personalities, begin to praise them and standing by, praying for the time for his own opportunity to come and steal from the public. Over there where things are done correctly, we still have corrupt people there. But the laws are checking them. If you commit crime, you go in for it. If you commit crime in our own clime, and you are stronger than the institution, nobody catches you. Do you want, and I have been in a place, especially when I was active in public service and a labor leader, and you see people make it as a big boy now. How many times have you been invited by EFCC? It becomes a caricature thing.
And unfortunately, I've heard that before. I have really heard that before.
You have heard that before. So you see that
it's unbelievable.
Instead of being ashamed of being invited by a law enforcement agency like EFCC, he will go there and come back. And it's not a thing to brag about.
Put it on social media.
If you have not been invited by EFCC, you're not a big boy.
Oh my goodness.
Do you see the...
Now that you say it back at me, it sounds so weird and so strange, and it's not funny at all.
It's not funny. That is the claim where we are. And like I have always said it, I don't know, it keeps coming for me to make reference to these two books. Why Nations Fail.
I know that you read that a lot.
That book,
Why Nations Fail.
Why Nations Fail, very important. The authors are Professor Robinson and Professor Asenogul. Then also, I recommend our people to read From Third to First World, written by Lekwayo. These two books will help us. Lekwayo, there was one of his ministers who committed crime. And that person wanted the process of law truncated. And Lekwayo said no, even though you were one of the closest persons to me in the cabinet. When the man couldn't, he committed suicide and died. When Lekwayo went for a condolence, the wife to that man said, now that the minister is gone, Prime Minister, can you cause the process of law? He said, no, even in death, the law has to take its full course.
Oh, okay.
And
so it wouldn't even be returned for burial?
Yeah.
As an
No, he
offense?
could be buried,
Okay,
but if there's anything to recover,
Oh.
it must be recovered. If he shouldn't be buried, if his corpse should be the property of government, it should be the property.
Okay.
They didn't go for it, but the man said the process of law must take its course. And the system was working. And I give you another example from the same area. Look at what we are, the kind of languages we are using. Farmers, headers, clash. We haven't defined what is happening very well. If somebody is sleeping in his house and another set of people attacks him, kill him, how does it amount to clash? If somebody is in his farm, armless, not armed, not preparing for war, some other person comes to that farm, attacks him there, kills him there, then puts his cow or cattle into that farm to eat it up. How does it amount to clash?
If we find names for other ones, like protesters' treason. But this one that you explained now is a clash between farmers.
So, if somebody is sleeping and you attack the person and he dies, it's a clash?
Perhaps we have a language problem.
Mavis, let me come. If we don't define our problems well, we don't find solution. It can never be a clash. But the point I'm making is this. Nigeria is a multicultural country. Like Singapore is a multicultural country. There were headers, menace in Singapore. You see them leave their cattle along the road. You see them leave their cattle in the farm. And they were talking. One fateful day, a lawyer was racing to court. And from nowhere, the cattle onto the road. The man hit the cattle and died. And that was the day the solution was found. Lekwayo invited his cabinet. Everybody was speaking grammar. He told them, no, this menace has to stop now. He ordered, anywhere you see any cow straying on the street, not properly ranched, catch that cow, kill that cow, and take it to destitute homes. They killed only 53. Nobody told the headers to get into their ranches. Who does it here? Every day we keep speaking grammar. When the solutions are there at our fingertips, Let me give you another example.
Let's open up the phone lines, comrades, so that some of our callers can ask you some questions, join the conversation, or perhaps drop their comments. We don't have a lot of time anymore, but you can call into the show 0706 048 5853. You can also call 0915 570 8347. The phone lines are open. You can send in a text message or a WhatsApp message, and you can also call, you can also follow us on YouTube at High Voltage News and be a part of what we are doing. And the questions are up on Facebook for you to follow and, of course, join the conversation on Facebook. It's Vote 1043 FM on Facebook. Bring the calls back. We are ready to talk to you now. Good morning. Good morning to you, my good friend. What's your name and your location, sir?
Good morning. Justice from Amman.
Hey, Justice, how are you, sir? How are you this morning?
I'm cool.
Fantastic. You're welcome.
Just like what you said, government tax the poor. I don't know if governments are afraid of the rich. I don't see the reason why somebody should be. I've lived in London for almost 2 years and 7 months. And I tell you, I can't see somebody who buy a car of 20 million naira and will be graciously riding it on the road without paying a tax.
Thank you, my brother.
He has that car up to 2 or 3. Is government afraid of taxing the rich? Why should a wheelbarrow pusher be paying tax when someone who is riding a car of wheelbarrow is not less than 50,000 naira about it? And somebody who are riding cars in millions should be graciously riding it on the road without paying any single tax. This is where government is unfair to the poor. I mean, all their policies are geared towards oppressing the poor, and the rich get richer and go away with all their riches. If government should start now you see somebody who build a, do you know that you raising a structure? There are taxes you pay.
Oh, yes.
When somebody can build somebody can build a 3-story building, he has it up for 3 or 4. He's not paying any tax to government.
Some even 20.
And he collects rent on a yearly basis, and he doesn't emit any tax. And he keep increasing his rent year in, year out. He keep increasing the rent, and he's not paying tax. He's not paying tax. This thing should be looked into. Government feeding on the poor, leaving the rich to get tax, is something that should be discouraged. It should be discouraged outright. If you are building a house, if you have a bungalow, there are stated rates you should be paying annually to government, or if possible monthly, because all your rent comes in monthly.
Monthly, that's true.
It's monthly. Whether you put it in a year or put it in 10 years, the month runs through the month. And government should be taxing, getting those taxes from this rich men. If not, that is why you and I are crying, because the rich get richer and they go away with their riches. Why the poor are the ones paying for what is it called? Palliative for them that they enjoy. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Justice. Thank you so much for calling in. God bless you and have a great day ahead. The phone lines are open. Join the conversation. Share your views, thoughts, comments, and analysis on what we're talking about. Majorly, we are trying to provide solutions to how to make things better in our country. And of course, Enugu State is also in focus this morning. 0706 048 5853. Good morning.
Good morning, Vote FM.
You're welcome, sir. Your name and location, please.
My name is Amos Chuku. I'm reaching you from Izago. Izago is located in Isholo local government area of Ebonyi State.
I greet you, Amos, sir.
Okay, I greet you guys in the studio. Am I talking to Lechonia?
You're not talking to Lechonia, you're talking to Comrade Chinedu Nyawobodo.
Okay, I greet you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, in fact, your analysis is so wonderful. I'm enjoying your speeches here.
Thank you.
Having said that, you said that you made so many salient points there. But the area I want to talk, you forget one area. That is the divide and rule syndrome of our political leaders. You know, I'm not from Enugu State, but Izagu is a very close neighbor to Amagunze. Okay? And we are covered with the Enugu State, every part of Enugu State. From 1999 to date, all the successive governments, they have isolated this particular area, that is Ukwapara and Amagunze. And it seems as if these two communities are not part of Enugu State. Okay? So it's a very dangerous phenomenon in Enugu State. Even the current governor, the body language of the governor is not even encouraging towards that area. And there is a particular road that leads from Three Corner to Afizago. And the traders that apply their trades there are mostly from Enugu State. And the government is not doing something to alleviate the suffering of the road users, those people that travel through this road. So it's a high time that the government of the day, the government of Enugu State, should do something to help people from this area. And again, about our leaders, you know, it's very obvious that those that are in the crime of affairs today, they are just there for themselves. They are not service-oriented, and that is why you can see a governor amassing billions of naira. For instance, the former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello. And the security agents are still shielding him. Is Yahya Bello a spirit? You know, is he not a Nigerian? Is he not here in Nigeria? That is the question we should ask our security agents. And also we have weak institutions. You understand me? We have what we have in Nigeria is a strong men versus weak institutions, and it is the bane of our democracy. Please, maybe let me drop here for other people to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your consideration, Amos Chukwu. Do have a great day ahead of you. This is High Voltage, and of course, you're listening to Comrade Chinedu Nwobodo, and of course, myself, Mavis, and we are talking about how to remedy anything that may have gone wrong in the past 64 years of our independence as a nation, any solutions that we can come up with, any loopholes that we need to fill up and need to fix so that we can get our country to the next level, get it to where we want it to be, or that we hope that it would be. Comrade Chinedu Nwobodo is here with me. He's a public affairs professional and, of course, an analyst as well. And he's here with me having this conversation on how to move things forward. We have been merging the Enugu conversation and, of course, the national situation. Let's go to the national for a little bit. Comrade, I know that you put down some of the questions that, our callers had pinpointed, and I'm sure you're going to answer it. But I wanted to take you to the government at the center, that is the federal government. What do you think the body language of this present administration towards the plight of Nigeria is at the moment, considering that the president just left the country yesterday?
Yeah, eventually that is the problem we have. When I started from there, when I said that our institutions that should be working at the center, I cited Iron and Steel Company at Jokuta. If Iron and Steel Company at Jokuta is functioning well, why should we be importing every form of arms? It takes a great chunk of money to buy ammunition for our defense. Yet we have Iron and Steel Company at Jokuta. Then, why must our...
Continue, sir.
Why must our president go for working leave outside Nigeria? Don't we have research centers where he could have gone? I'm raising a research question. Critical rhetoric questions, and people should answer themselves. People in government should also answer it. At this critical time, where Nigeria and Nigerians are facing critical situation, It's not a time for political office holders to flaunt affluence, to do certain things that have local alternatives. You go to do it outside. What has happened to Voodoo Ranch? He could have gone. He could have gone there. He could also have gone to Jos. Why am I forgetting that name for that resort center? Very fine place he could have gone to. A number of places he could have gone to for a working leave in Nigeria. And of course, if it is a working leave, it certainly shows that the seat of government of Nigeria is 9/6. He didn't transmit authority to act for him. So if we want to do something, if we can't get it in London, then we wait until he comes back. So these are things that will begin to make people not buy into government policies. Our politicians and our leaders, I plead with them to behave in such a way that we will pull down this wall of it is their thing. Until Nigerians begin to buy into Nigeria and be ready to die for Nigeria, and it has to come from the attitudes of our political office holders. I don't see, except he has gone for something else, working leave shouldn't have been outside Nigeria. That's the way I look at it. And these pieces of attitude go to make people distance themselves from governance. But it should be participatory thing. You must behave in such a way that everybody will think Nigeria.
But what if it's on purpose? Because we keep...
What is that purpose? Except it is a medical tourism. I'm not saying he should not spend his leave. I'm not saying he should not even do his leave, working leave from his house. Which means, if he's on working leave, any critical thing that requires the attention of Mr. President, please bring it. Those ones that can be done, whether or not I'm in the office, do it. He could also have done it in Obudu Ranch. He could have done it in Akwa Ibom. This new thing done by their governor. A number of places to do it in Nigeria is there. But for you to tell Nigerians that you are in London or anywhere on working leave, it's not encouraging. Sincerely, it's not. I'm not saying he should not be on
He
it.
has been known to travel a lot, and you do remember there's a new presidential jet, and it has to be used at some point. So, long travels, you would expect that.
That is the selfishness we are talking about, the private wealth we are looking at. Remember I told you earlier this morning that public wealth improves everybody. Private wealth impoverishes everybody. How does it happen? How does it happen? And let me tell you. If you go to Israel, for example, they live more cooperative. They provide services that will make you get what you want, even when you know somebody or you don't know anybody.
Okay.
If you have good ideas in Nigeria that can improve business, and you have very fantastic business plan, but you are the son of nobody gives you loan to implement it. Because there is no strong institution to sponsor it. Over there, like I was telling you, why nations fail. Over there in Arizona, the example given by the two professors, they are Nogels of Arizona and Nogels of Mexico. The same people, demarcated by international boundary, yet their lifestyles are different. Because there are strong institutions that help the other set of people. There are no institutions, they have strong individuals in Mexico. They have strong institutions in Arizona. Then the two Nogels are different. But they are the same people. Just like, for example, now we have the Igbo in Delta State, assuming Delta State is another country, and we have the Igbo in Onitsha, and Onitsha is a different, another country. The same people. But they live at different levels of lifestyle, because the other set of people were able to build strong institutions. Strong institutions we are talking about are the public wealth, which where you have bright ideas. You run to. There are very intelligent individuals who may not have gone to school, who were able to produce aircraft. They can operate from ground, it moves around. Where are the institutions to improve such people?
We'd rather go to China.
So,
good morning to you.
Good morning once again, maybe.
Oh, okay, you're welcome back. Your name and location, please.
This is a regular caller, Amos Chuku. I called earlier now.
Okay, Amos, please make it brief so that we can go back to Comrade.
Just in a jiffy. You know, you have seen this the fight between Sajin Abbas and Godzilla Fabio, those in the federal house. You understand me? That is a very direct affront to our leaders. You know, they are not interested about the welfare of Nigerians because we have a hyper inflation in the country. They are not bothered about that. But they are now fighting over national honor. Now the question is this: what have they done for the past 1.5 years in office that they deserve a national honor? For me, they don't deserve a national honor. Even itself, it is a mischievous, you know, on the side of the Mr. President for giving them a national honor. In the midst of suffering, and they are now fighting over a national honor. What a shame to our leaders. You understand me? It's a dehumanization.
All right, Amos, I have to let you go. Remember that you're supposed to keep your comments clean and civil so that you do not break any rules while you're trying to address situations. Comrade, you're getting so much more calls, but of course the show is almost ending. I have one more question for you so that you can round up. The president has said that the unemployment in Nigeria and the increase in all the bad situation is because of the rapid growing number of population in the country, and that it has outpaced the creation of sufficient job opportunities. Can you please round up with that? Could you please?
Because we I don't know whether we plan our country, we base our budget on population.
You don't think?
I don't think we do that. Okay. Because otherwise that thing should not be a complaint. That we are increasing in number should be a strength, not a weakness. Do you know how many people that are there in China? How many people that are there in India? How many people that are there in America?
Or can we measure in resources with these people?
So, and that is it. We have all the resources to get what we want. But the people that are leading us want to be richer than Nigeria they are making money from. If what the white man had left for us, if our groundnut pyramid had continued, and we are budgeting based on the number, of course, the last official census figure in Nigeria is 2006. And even in that 2006, it's still questionable. What is holding the country from knowing how many we are? We are living on estimated population from 2006 to now. What is happening? Can we make our institutions strong? National Office of Statistics, what are they doing? We don't know. Our problem is that as we speak, the National Office of Statistics cannot tell us how many graduates we have in a year. We may not even know the number of undergraduates we have in our schools. We may not even know how many persons that graduate from secondary school every year. It's so annoying. It's like this. Population, if you know your population is increasing and you are not working in tandem with the realities, you will always fail. That we are increasing in numbers should be a source of strength. Militarily, police-wise, agriculturally, industrially. That we are increasing in population should not be a problem. But we are not working in tandem with the realities.
Thank you, Comrade Chinedu Nwobodo, for coming to the show this morning. God bless you, sir. This is where we will have to draw the curtains. I will see you again next week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. till 10. Join High Voltage. Follow us on YouTube at High Voltage News and catch up on all the breaking stories and breaking news around the country as they drop. Okay? Follow Volt FM everywhere on Facebook at Volt 104.3 FM. We'll see you again next week. Try to be good to yourself and to everyone else around you. Okay? Have a good morning.
Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis on current events and their impact. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.